Hello, my name is Brandon Todd Jackson. I've been a data scientist since 2012, 2015, got a master's in predictive analytics from Northwestern University, and I've been out in industry building demand models for some of the biggest retailers in the world. But with the advent of large language models, predictive analytics is just not enough. So I'm evolving with the times. And so I'm transitioning into this systems architect role. And so in order to do that, I've created my personal portfolio from scratch using Cursor AI, and I've shown you all the tips and tricks of the trade and walked you through how do you go through the development cycle in your local environment and then push to Vercel to have a fully production live application. I didn't use any templates. I just used Cursor AI and a little bit of know-how. All right. And so right now I've gone through the process of building a fully responsive web application to where it's a Next.js project. And I'll show you that it is responsive. It moves from being centered and justified left to right to where everything is stacked from top to bottom. The last thing that we just introduced was the actual portfolio, the AI powered products that I've actually created. Understanding that I'm building my authority in this space, I actually have to build an email list. One of the things that you have to do that is, what is your lead capture? What is the thing that you're giving away for free? And so for me, it's a free AI systems readiness checklist. Assess your current infrastructure and identify gaps before scaling your AI system. I know that there's a few people who have been in industry who have actually been doing research around this for quite some time. So I'm going to ask Perplexity, hey, what are your thoughts on this? Let me go to Perplexity. And then I know Gartner, they do a lot of research in terms of AI. And so I'm going to ask Perplexity, can you help find resources and research around this given topic? I want to look at either Reddit or Gartner documentation. And so I'm going to throw it in there and I'm going to just see what it provides me. And then I'm going to use a few MCP servers to help me actually do the research. And then I'm going to show you how in Cursor, I'm going to run parallel processing against multiple AI agents to figure out which one will give me the best output that I can then turn into a downloadable PDF using gamma.app. All right. So we have a project that we have set up and we have the portfolio. In the portfolio, I have a README file for the project that I'm working on. And then I also have my resume just for a little bit of context. The instructions that I'm giving it is use first principle thinking design. All right. So I'm just going to drop this in here. And then I'm going to say, use first principles and create this into a markdown file that I can use as the starting position for a little bit of research. I have ref MCP server that goes out and finds official documentation. I have Reddit MCP and I have FireCrawl. Create a markdown document that guides them through this process. So I am going to create this markdown file, and essentially what I'm doing, I'm creating additional context to provide for my project. So I'm going to drop this context file into Cursor. Then I'm going to show you the parallel processing power of Cursor. So if we're on the main branch, any research that we're doing in that parallel processing framework is going to create multiple branches. You just need to be careful about that because you need to be able to merge it back into the main. But this is purely research. And so the reason why I'm doing parallel processing is just to show you the capability in Cursor, but I'm not going to merge anything back into my main branch. All right. So this is gone through and it's built out a little bit of research. It uses its own internal web search tool, but we're going to double validate and actually now look for the actual pain points using the Reddit MCP, just so that we can make sure that the lead magnet adds value. All right. So now that this is complete, we have the Markdown AI readiness guide. We're going to open this up, view your research guide, and then we're going to copy this. Next, we're going to hop back over into Cursor. MCP servers it's like the master key to AI. A MCP server, once again, it was built by Anthropic. It gives you a managed context protocol to where you can essentially use a universal remote control to connect your LLM applications to any application across the internet. All right. And so we're going to be using sequential thinking. We're going to turn on ref MCP. Ref looks for the official API documentation. And this is very important because we want this to be founded in truth. And then we're going to use Reddit and FireCrawl. All right. So now I'm going to create a new thread. And then I'm going to go into the portfolio and the context folder. And I'm gonna just drop in a new file, and I'm gonna say lead mag research.md. I misspelled that, but that's okay. And so now what I'm going to do, can you use the ref MCP tool, the Reddit MCP tool, and FireCrawl MCP tool to go through this research document in full detail and create an outline that I would then pass to gamma.app to create a downloadable PDF. All right. So now I'm going to give it the lead mag research, and I'm going to let it know that it's for the lead magnet TSX for context. And then I'm going to build a plan. But then I'm also going to look at Composer. Composer is Cursor's AI agent that's touted to be faster than all of the other agents, which it actually is. Then I'm going to use Sonnet. I'm going to use GPT-5. DeepSeek is free, so I'm just going to go ahead and use that. And I'm looking across 6 agents who are going to run this in parallel. We're going to let it rip, and we're going to see what they come back with. See, it says, click here to configure a work tree setup script. Don't show again. That work tree is when you're using this in parallel processing, they have to isolate the compute, but they have to isolate the changes. And so you see it's querying, it's researching Gartner, McKinsey, MIT, Sloan, the standards, Forrester. All right, so this is running pretty smooth. We have Sonnet, we have GPT-5, and then we have DeepSeek. All right, so it had the sequential thinking. Basically, it has full right to go and do this. It's on my allow list, so it will continue to run. All right. Now we see FireCrawl scrape is being put up. So it's pulling some real information in terms of, so now we can add some actual links back to the articles that we're referencing. All right. So now Reddit is getting the top post, look for pain points. All right. Now it's doing the FireCrawl search on this, and DeepSeek is running. It's almost done. All right. DeepSeek had an error. An unrecoverable agent mode loop detected. All right. So I'm okay. I'm gonna just let DeepSeek do its thing and sit off to the side because I have more powerful models that are actually chugging away. Now you see the Gamma app outline. You have 4. It's going to create outlines that we can then take, and we're going to consolidate each of them. We're going to cherry pick the best out of all of them. And then we're going to consolidate a file, and then we may do one more search on Reddit. We're going to choose composers to go with, and we'll consolidate all of the markdown files that it's creating. And then from there, we'll ask it to do a deeper search onto Reddit, pull some real live pain points, and then we're going to throw this bad boy into Gamma.app, and we'll have a PDF. Now, we didn't give it any constraints. That is another important thing. So we're going to have to give it a constraint to where we only want this PDF to be maybe 2 to 3 pages long. We'll wait for the other ones to finish. And so the power in this is we're using in parallel processing, we're doing advanced research across some of the biggest and most notable names in AI. And we're using their genius and a little bit of AI willpower to figure out, how do I create something that is relevant, tangible, and that will drive value whenever someone downloads, so that they know that I'm an authority in this space. All right. So now you see all these files have been created. Now we're just going to wait for Sonnet and GPT to finish. And then we're going to actually build a plan where we consolidate all of those. And we're going to ask the plan to go and make sure that it pulls relevant pain points from Reddit as well. And we may want to add a little bit of sales psychology in the actual PDF itself, saying that, hey, work with your boy. I can help you with all of these areas. So now I could take this, and this could even be converted into an ebook. Okay. So I'm going to actually pimp this in a lot of different ways. All right. They're almost finished. We're going to wait for GPT, the magnet. We're just going to open all of them up in parallel, and notice the chat context. Man, it went out and it used 93,000 tokens in this instance. Composer has better utilization of the tokens. ChatGPT 5, Sonnet used a lot of tokens. Yeah, Sonnet burns you. So this is also a proof point to understand which LLMs are actually going to cost you money. All right, and we're just waiting for Sonnet to finish. While that happens, let's just go in and check out one of them. All right, so we have a title, AI Systems Readiness Checklist, Assess Your Foundation Before You Build. Gives a subtitle, name and organization, the date. Key statistics call out 95% of AI pilots fail. Here's how to join the 5 that succeed. Okay, I like the language. We have a reality check, an executive summary. Then what the checklist provides, first principle framework grounded in fundamental requirements, practitioner validated insights from Reddit, machine learning, MLOps. Okay, I love it. Key differentiators, data readiness focus, human AI collaboration, MIT Nanda research, Rand Corporation in 2024, S&P Global Market Intelligence from Reddit community. So it's going out and it actually pulled all of the relevant things from Reddit. Root causes, 5 fundamental failures. All right, so this is good. Let's check out the second one. All right, visual elements, clean white background. So I like how it added the visual elements. The first one didn't add that. Executive summary, 70% of AI projects fail not because of the technology is wrong, but because the organizations aren't ready for it. Fundamental truth, myth and reality. I like that staggering. So breaking down the assumptions. All right. It has the target audiences. It's about 20 to 25 pages. All of these are being dropped into the context. We'll pull AI Readiness Checklist and Gamma App, Lead Mag. Then we'll pull Research Key Takeaways and then Research Summary. All right. Using sequential thinking, can you consolidate the best out of each to create a master document? I want the PDF to be less than 10 pages, have official citations, and no conflicting stats across all of the documents. Okay, now I'm using Composer because it's fast and we see that it is efficient. So now I'm gonna let this run. It's gonna read through everything. It's gonna use sequential thinking. Again, I would recommend to really focus on pain points and really drill into those pain points up front in the document. But we're gonna see if AI is able to gather that. All right. Oh, wow. So it's going to go through a chain of thought of 60 different thoughts. So this is the longest chain of thought that I've ever seen in anything that I've created so far. And so it's going to go through that chain of thought and it's creating the master document. And now, as this is loading, I'm just going to go over to Gamma.app. We're going to create new. We're going to go in and the AI Readiness Checklist Master is 458. We're going to keep. We're going to copy and paste the text, generate from the outline, continue to the prompt editor. All right, and we're going to let this thing separate itself out. I want to be concise with this one because it's just a checklist. And I'm going to use the dialogue for the images. I want to keep it line and vector art minimal. All right, and this is 12 cards. Page 6, 7, 8, page 9, and we're just going to let this run because now we've created a document that allows them to go through. It highlights the pain point up front, the hidden cost of unpreparedness. It's looking good. It's on brand. My colors of my website are white and orange. It's looking really good right now. And then we'll have a PDF document that they're able to then download. And so we're going to add this to the public folder as well, and then they'll be able to download it. So now this is building in a little bit of brand authority. The research that this thing is going to provide, it isn't noise. This is real research gathered across some of the biggest industry verticals in terms of AI know-how and readiness. Now we have the top 6 failure patterns to avoid. I love this. I'm gonna go ahead and just download this as a PDF, and I can create this as its own website if I wanted to, but I'm export as PDF. All right, so now I'm gonna go back in here, and then in the public folder, I'm gonna add one more thing. I'm gonna go to my files, my downloads, boom. I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna drop it into public. All right, now I want to add AI Systems Readiness Checklist PDF as the downloadable asset in the, let's go to the components. What are we looking at? Lead magnet. All right, I understand the component structure. Valuable PDF, downloadable starts. So now I'm having to add a additional code so that we can actually download a PDF. And so it says that this thing is ready. So now how it works, user submits the form, creates PDF downloader, create a temporary anchor, triggers a browser download, integrate a download into form submission. How it works, user submits the form data is sent to API lead capture. On success, the PDF download starts automatically. All right. So can you validate we have everything that is needed for this, for the actual lead capture API? So it's going in and it's validating the implementation and it's seeing if there's anything that's missing. All right, everything is in place for the lead capture. Boom, boom. Zapier webhook is optional. Great, this is good. So let me go over to the local host and I just want to see what all do I need to do. So I'm gonna do Brandon. I'm gonna do Brandon at datajackson.com. Company name, Jackson, it's the old business. Then I'm gonna do get my copy. Boom. Now I've gotten my copy. It's downloaded. Quick questions while your checklist download. All right. So I actually don't like this in terms of the widgets. It makes it look very dated, but the functionality, we've already proven that we have great functionality. So this is just extra sauce. Perfect. So now I want to actually stage and commit modified files, push to remote. We're on the main branch, so this is automatically going to deploy. So in the live website, we're going to have a downloadable PDF. Let's do something really quick. Can you run npm run build? And this is just to make sure. I'm going to go over into Vercel really quick as well to see if it passes. Hopefully it does. But again, I got ahead of myself. The build is running and it's ready. So what I can do now, I'm gonna just go and I'm gonna open up a completely new browser. I'm gonna go to Chrome and I'm gonna go to BrandonToddJackson.com. Oh, internal server error. What do we have here? Inspect. Let's see what happened. Console. Failed to load resource, server responded. All right, so the fab icon, we know that's an issue, but it's not an issue, but the API lead capture, let's see what actually happened. Validate this error. So now I'm gonna use first principles and I'll validate the error. So this is development. This is what you have to go through. You have to see what works and what doesn't work. Fundamental truths. Let's see what it says. Solution from first principles. The Zapier webhook already handles data storage. Primary purpose. The file storage is a local backup. I should wrap the file system operation in a try catch that doesn't throw, allowing the API to succeed even if the file write fails. Implementation of the webhook, we're going to do that later because we're building out a fully scalable lead gen magnet that does a nurturing sequence. And so right now, I'm going to go with the update that they've made. I'm going to stage and commit modified files. And then if this passes, I'll go ahead and commit this to the remote branch and it should resolve the issue. But essentially what's going on is I have some API routes that are supposed to start a nurturing sequence that says, hey, you downloaded the form. This is 24 hours afterwards because it caught the email. What's up? Would you like to book a call? Is there any more information that we can provide for you? All right, now we're going to stage and commit modified files, push to remote. So we're 30 minutes in and we have an amazing, stunning PDF. It's just beautiful. It's just so beautiful. And we're just validating the last little fix to make sure that this thing fully works in production. We pushed it to the origin main, fixed the 500 error. So let's see what happens. So now we have to just go to Vercel, wait for this thing to finish deploying. So it's in the build phase right now. Those updates that I made against localhost, it was able to download against localhost because it didn't need all the necessity. It wasn't connected to Vercel, so that one works. But now that we're connecting it to Vercel, we just need to make sure that the API had a try except clause around it. And now it says it's ready. So I should be able to go to cursor. There may be some caching. We'll double check that. Let's see here. Brandon. I might need my first and last name on this one. B. Jackson, 1906. Your boy. Get my copy. There we go. Got him. We got him. All right. So this completes this iteration. The next thing that I would want to do is these icons. They're so dated. I would just call in a new icon package. I would change these out to be more black and white grayscale. I forget the name of the actual icon package, but this makes the website look a little bit dated. I will update that in the next iteration. It's not important now, but we validated a lot of information. Now the thank you page basically is saying it's going to send an email, a thank you email to B. Jackson 1906, but that's all connected to Vercel. And just to recap really quick, the thing that we did in this video, we are looking at Brandon Jackson. We used my website to create a lead gen tool. We worked with the Zapier MCP, the Ref MCP tool, and actual FireCrawl MCP tool. We used Cursor to run parallel processing across multiple agents. We consolidated that information with the Sequential Thinking MCP, and then we went into Gamma and created a stunning PDF that serves as a lead magnet for people to come into my business so that I can build my email list and start to put them into a nurturing sequence to see if there's any way that I can be of value to them in the future. All right, and that completes this episode.